She walked into the hotel lobby just hoping for a place to rest, but the receptionist's cold response sparked something no one saw coming. What happened next? You'll want to see it for yourself. Watch till the end, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel because tomorrow's story is even more unbelievable. You won't want to miss it. Mariah Daniels pushed through the heavy glass doors and stepped into the lobby like any other guest. The warm glow of golden chandeliers danced on polished marble floors. Soft music drifted from hidden speakers. Yet every bit of luxury felt wrong under her plain blue jeans and worn sneakers. She approached the front desk. Behind it stood Tina Harper, barely a month in the job. Tina's hair was tied in a tight ponytail, her uniform crisp and starched. She tapped her perfectly manicured nails on the counter, eyes flicking up only when Mariah spoke. "I have a reservation under Mariah Daniels," Mariah said, voice steady but gentle. She offered her phone, showing the email confirmation. Tina leaned back in her chair, studying Mariah like a guard sizing up a stranger at the gate. "Daniels," she repeated slowly. "Are you sure? Because I don't recognize you." Her lips curved into a small, cold smile. Mariah's stomach twisted, but she held her ground. "I booked a deluxe king room for one night." Tina laughed softly, the sound sharp in the quiet lobby. "Deluxe rooms are for guests who, look the part." She pointed to Mariah's sneakers. "We cater to a certain standard here. I'm not sure you fit." Heat flared in Mariah's cheeks. She fought the urge to swallow the lump in her throat. "Standards," she echoed. "Standards of what?" "Of taste," Tina said, voice low so the nearby guests wouldn't hear her next words, but their ears perked. "We don't let the budget guests walk all over our halls. Maybe you should try the motel down the street." A sudden hush fell. A businessman clutching a tablet glanced up. A mother with a toddler froze mid-step. Mariah felt every eye on her as if she were a spectacle at a cruel show. Her chest tightened. She thought of the work behind this hotel, the months of planning, the late nights negotiating contracts, the vision she poured into every corner of these walls. None of that mattered to Tina, who saw only a black woman in jeans. Mariah took a slow breath, forcing calm into her voice. "I paid for that room," she said. "Check my name again." But Tina scoffed and turned her back, already moving to serve another guest who looked more fitting. Mariah's knuckles whitened on the edge of the desk. Above the soft music, her heart thudded. She would not walk away. Not now, not ever. Mariah stepped away from the desk and leaned against a plush velvet bench in the lobby. Her fingers tapped the armrest as she fought the sting of Tina's words. Each tap echoed in her mind like a warning bell. She was being judged by her skin and her clothes, not her merit or her money. Across the room, Tina leaned over to Brad, the night manager, who was stacking fresh brochures behind the reception desk. "Did you see her?" Tina whispered, eyes alight with triumph. "Looked like she just crawled out of her car. Oh, wait, she didn't even arrive in one. Probably can't afford a taxi." Brad's eyebrows shot up. He glanced at the lobby crowd, many of whom now watched Mariah with pity or curiosity. "Tina, you sure you want to say that in front of everyone?" he murmured. Tina waved him off with a flick of her wrist. "Relax. She's just another guest. I'm doing my job, keeping standards. This place isn't for everyone." Mariah closed her eyes for a moment, reminding herself why she fell in love with this hotel in the first place. She remembered the first time she toured the grand lobby, before she owned it, how her heart had raced at the sight of those glittering chandeliers and the promise of community she saw in the smiling staff. She swallowed the lump in her throat, straightened her shoulders, and walked back toward the desk. Tina noticed her approach and straightened, arms folding. "Still waiting," she said, voice iced over. "I told you." Mariah held up her confirmation email again, voice low but clear enough for the room to hear. "Tina, I am the owner." A collective gasp rippled through the lobby. Tina's face drained of color, her perfect ponytail trembling. Brad's mouth fell open. Mariah stepped closer, letting the weight of her presence fill the space. "I've poured my savings into this place," she continued, raising her voice so every guest and staff member could hear. "The same lobby you're standing in, Tina, is mine. The rooms you deny me, mine. The brand you protect, under my name." The lobby fell silent. Even the soft classical music paused for a breath. Tina opened her mouth, then snapped it shut. Mariah lowered her voice. "I expect respect from everyone." She turned on her heel and strode toward the guest elevator, leaving Tina frozen, shame flushing her cheeks bright red. As the elevator doors slid shut, Mariah caught Brad's eye. He swallowed, nodding a silent apology. Tina sank into the receptionist's chair, head bowed as whispers of honor and humiliation passed from guest to guest. Behind the gleaming mirror, Mariah's reflection showed not a defeated woman, but someone who reclaimed her power with unwavering grace. Mariah rode the elevator up to the penthouse floor, heart still pounding from Tina's final gasp. The doors slid open to a quiet hallway lined with plush carpet and soft gold sconces. She paused before a heavy oak door marked "Private Staff Only." Taking a steady breath, she used her master key to slip inside. The staff lounge glowed in soft light. Carla stood by a small table arranging fresh pastries and steaming coffee. Her eyes lit up when she saw Mariah. "You handled that perfectly," Carla said, voice low. "I've been watching. No one could have shut down Tina like you did." Mariah sank onto a leather chair, running a hand through her curls. "It still stings," she admitted. "To be treated like I didn't belong. The worst part is Tina isn't the only one who judges by appearance." Carla nodded, her face gentle. "People see what they're trained to see, but you taught them a lesson they won't forget." She placed a warm mug in Mariah's hand. Mariah inhaled the coffee's rich aroma. She closed her eyes, remembering times she'd felt small. Walking through this lobby as a young entrepreneur, her voice ignored at meetings, her ideas overshadowed by louder, whiter voices. She let the pain surface for a moment, then pushed it down. "This hotel was my dream," she said softly. "My parents saved every penny for me to study business. Every detail here is a memory." Carla placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "And now it's your reality." She paused, frowning as she retrieved a folded envelope from her pocket. "You got this just now." Mariah opened it to find a single card that read, "Meet me at room 909. Important." No signature. A chill ran through her. "Who would—" she whispered. Carla's eyes darkened. "I thought security found every dropped note after the reopening test. This wasn't from HR." Mariah's jaw clenched. "Someone's playing games again." She rose, voice firm. "Time to end this. I won't let anyone, friend or foe, undermine me again." As they left the lounge, staff members peered from the doorway, curiosity and gossip flickering in their eyes. Tina, in the shadows by a water cooler, whispered to Brad, "Do you think the boss knows?" Brad shook his head, guilt etched on his face. Mariah felt their eyes on her back as she walked toward the elevator. Each step echoed a promise. She would discover who sent that note, and she would show them that Mariah Daniels, plain jeans, sneakers and all, owned this hotel with every fiber of her being. Mariah's fingers trembled as she rode the elevator back down to the 9th floor. The card said room 909, an unmarked suite she rarely used. In the dim hallway lights, her reflection looked both determined and tired. She stopped before the heavy door. The key slid in smoothly and she felt the silent click. Pushing the door open, she found the room empty, save for a single chair in the center and a small table. On the table lay a manila envelope and, beside it, a single white rose. Her heart pounded. She stepped inside, closing the door softly. The air smelled faintly of lavender. On the envelope, her name was written in neat looping script, Mariah Daniels, CEO. Carefully, she opened it. Inside was a photo of Carla, smiling brightly at the reopening, and beneath it the words, "Trust no one." Mariah's breath caught. She looked up as the door clicked behind her. Carla stepped in, eyes cold. "You shouldn't have opened that," Carla said, voice low. "Why, Carla?" Mariah asked, voice steady but sharp. "Why send this to me?" Carla moved closer, folding her arms. "Because you need to see who really cares about this hotel and who cares only about themselves." Her gaze flicked to the photo. "I found your uncle's consultant digging through your files last night. He's planning to sell half your shares to investors behind your back." Mariah's world spun. "You knew?" Yet you tested me with that note? Carla's eyes softened for a moment, then hardened again. I had to. You're headstrong. You trust people too easily, even me. She paused. I sent that rose as a warning. I could have taken everything from you. A cold knot formed in Mariah's chest. But you didn't. Carla shook her head. I didn't want to hurt you. I wanted you to fight, truly fight, for your dream. Mariah's hands clenched. So this is another test? Carla met her gaze squarely. Yes, because now you know loyalty is earned, not given. Silence stretched between them. Mariah felt betrayal, anger, and an odd spark of gratitude. She took a deep breath and set the photo on the table. Then let's end the tests. Carla stepped forward, offering her hand. Together. Mariah looked at the white rose, then at Carla's outstretched hand. With a small nod, she took it. Mariah's voice was soft but firm. Together. The door clicked open behind them where Tina stood, tears in her eyes. Miss Daniels, everyone's waiting. They need you. Mariah turned, squared her shoulders, and smiled. Then let's give them a show they'll never forget. Mariah swept back into the lobby, Carla flanking her like a coiled force. The guests, still sipping champagne and chatting, fell silent as the doors closed behind them with decisive finality. Tina and Brad hovered near the desk, uncertainty written on their faces. Mariah stood at the base of the grand staircase, hands on the marble balustrade. Her voice rang clear and confident, silencing every whispered conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, she began, thank you for joining us on this special night. She paused, making deliberate eye contact with Tina, then Brad, then the audience. Tonight I promised you surprises and lessons. A hush fell. Tina's pulse throbbed visibly at her throat. Brad's neck tightened. The consultant, Mr. Hayes, who'd been quietly mingling near the bar, stiffened. Mariah took a step forward. First, a lesson in judgment. She turned to Tina. Tina, would you tell our guests what you said to me when I arrived? Tina's head bowed. Her voice, small at first, trembled louder. I told you. You didn't look like someone who could afford this hotel. I said you probably came for free Wi-Fi and a meal. A collective gasp rippled. Some guests murmured in shock. Others exchanged looks of shame. Tina squeezed her hands together, cheeks flushing with regret. Mariah held up a gentle hand to quiet the crowd. Why did you say that? She asked, voice soft but piercing. Tina swallowed, tears welling. I was scared. I wanted to belong here, so I pushed you away before you could push me. I judged you by your skin and clothes. Her voice cracked. I'm sorry. Mariah stepped down to stand before Tina, lowering herself to meet Tina's gaze. Thank you for your honesty, she said. Mistakes are powerful teachers when we own them. She placed a reassuring hand on Tina's shoulder. Today you learn respect. Tomorrow you show kindness. That is your second lesson. Applause. Gentle at first, then growing as guests recognized the weight of Mariah's words. Mariah turned her attention to Mr. Hayes, who had edged away but now stood frozen. She pointed directly at him. And you, Mr. Hayes, our consultant. You thought you could test me with humiliations and secret games. You planted notes, leaked rumors, and nearly sold my shares behind my back. Hayes's face tightened. He opened his mouth, but no words came. Mariah raised her voice slightly. You thought you could break me. Instead, you reinforced my resolve. She reached into her jacket pocket and produced the consultancy contract. With a decisive flick, she held it aloft. Effective immediately. This contract is null and void. Your services are terminated. Security stepped forward to guide Hayes away. As he passed Carla, whose expression was solemn but proud, Mariah added, Lesson 3. True leadership is built on trust, not manipulation. The crowd erupted into applause, this time heartfelt and enthusiastic. Tina let out a shaky breath, relief and pride mingling on her face. Carla slipped beside Mariah and quietly whispered, You were incredible. Mariah nodded, voice warm. And now for our final surprise. She clapped her hands. Instantly the golden lights dimmed and a soft spotlight illuminated the grand staircase. A long red ribbon stretched across the bottom step. Standing behind it, guests leaned forward in anticipation. Carla produced scissors that sparkled under the light. "Together," she asked, offering one handle to Mariah. Mariah smiled and took it. The two women, owner and partner, cut the ribbon in tandem, the cloth falling like autumn leaves to reveal a hidden lower level. A stunning speakeasy-style lounge with velvet sofas, a polished mahogany bar, and a live jazz trio tuning instruments. Gasps and delighted cheers filled the room. Mariah raised her glass. To respect, to honesty, and to the beautiful surprises that await when we lead with our hearts. Glasses clinked. The moral hung in the air. True hospitality begins with respect and trust, and real strength shines brightest when tested. Later that night, after the last guest had left and the music had faded into memory, Mariah sat quietly in the new lounge. The soft hum of the ice machine and the fading jazz notes created a soothing backdrop to her thoughts. Carla joined her, slipping into the seat beside her with 2 mugs of tea. Mariah took a sip, then exhaled deeply. "You know," she said, eyes fixed on the glowing bar shelves, "tonight wasn't just about exposing Tina or Hayes, it was about freeing myself." Carla looked at her, puzzled. "Freeing yourself from what?" "From the need to prove myself every time I walk into a room," Mariah said softly. "From the voice in my head that still questions if I belong." Carla nodded slowly. "But you do. You've always belonged here, more than anyone." Mariah smiled faintly. "I just needed everyone else to see it too." She paused. "But most importantly, I needed to believe it myself." At that moment, Tina entered the lounge. She looked unsure, holding a folder in one hand. Her eyes darted between them. "Can I talk to you both?" Mariah gestured to the seat across from her. "Of course." Tina sat down, clutching the folder like a lifeline. "I stayed behind because I wanted to give this to you." She slid it across the table. "It's a full apology, written, signed. I want to earn back your trust and the job, but only if I can be trained right and treat people right." Mariah opened the folder, reading Tina's neatly written words. It wasn't just an apology, it was a promise. She looked up, eyes soft. "Tina, the fact that you're still here tells me you're already on the right path." Tina's eyes filled again, this time with gratitude. Carla leaned in. "You'll be under me for training. No shortcuts, but we'll guide you." "Thank you," Tina whispered. Mariah smiled warmly. "The biggest lesson I've learned as an owner isn't how to make money or renovate a lounge, it's how to build people, how to change hearts." Tina nodded. "I never knew someone like me could work for someone like you." Mariah's gaze was firm. "And that's the problem I'm here to change." A peaceful silence filled the room as they sipped their tea together. Outside the hotel's grand windows, the city lights twinkled against the night sky, an echo of something powerful and enduring. Never judge a book by its cover, or a person by the color of their skin or the clothes they wear. True strength lies not in appearances, but in how we treat others, even when we think no one is watching. Kindness costs nothing, but it changes everything. If this story moved you or made you think differently, don't leave without letting us know. Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever misjudged someone based on how they looked? Like this video to support real stories that inspire change, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful content that reveals the truth behind appearances. Every share helps spread a message that could open someone's eyes, because respect, kindness, and humility should never go out of style.